And at this point, I'm looking at my car saying, wow, it's clean. Look how clean my car is. And we haven't even gotten started.
Welcome back. I'm Tedward, and today we're gonna go take care of my daily driven M3. It is terrible weather out here today. I think most of the country, and actually most of Massachusetts, is seeing ice storms. I got lucky. For the most part, it's just rain, and it's now above freezing. It's slightly less treacherous, but please be careful out there. But the other day I did a video on washing my car at a touch-free wash, because obviously it's preferable over a tunnel wash where they're just dragging sandpaper over your paint. But come to find out in the comments, a lot of these touch-free places recycle the water, which isn't necessarily a bad thing. Obviously it's good, you don't want to be wasting water. But the problem is, although they filter the water, they don't desalinate the water. So when you go through these touch-free car washes in the wintertime, all the salt that's come off the car is getting recirculated back into the system. So you're essentially washing your car with salt water. That's not what you want. That's the opposite of what you want. So how do you protect your car? Well, what we're gonna do today is we're gonna go down to Craft Detailing. They're gonna wash the car, but we're also going to put an OptiCoat ceramic coating on the car. This M3 actually has a ceramic coating. However, it has a ceramic coating from like 7 years ago. It's probably long gone, and this car is parked outside in the sun all year long. It sees all the weather, so that does degrade those coatings faster for certain. Turn your headlights on. Are you kidding me? Look at this weather. You're just driving around dark. People are nuts. So let's get down to Dedham, talk to the folks at Craft. I feel so nervous to have them look at my car, to be honest with you, because you know, I take care of my car mechanically, but when it comes to paint, I hand wash for the most part, but I don't know what it looks like to a detailer. This is like going to the dentist for the first time in 3 or 4 years. I don't know what they're gonna tell me. Finding the right place to detail your car is so tricky because you only have a finite amount of paint and clear coat on your car. So if someone does it wrong, you're gonna need to repaint. That's where things get really expensive. So before we start this process, first let's just take a look at how the car looks right now. It's actually not terrible, except that as it's drying, you can start to see all this nasty salt and road grime. And on top, this is where it gets really apparent that whatever coating was on this car is worn away, especially on the roof. Obviously it's black. That's probably where the sun did the most UV damage and wore that away. Over here we still have beading, so it's not totally awful, but yeah, the car does not look great. And what we're gonna do is we're gonna pull it in, find out what kind of paint correction we wanna do. I'm not looking for this to be a showstopper. I don't need this to be like a beauty queen. I just need it to look good enough that A, they can be proud of it, I can be proud of it, and you guys look at my car in real life and you're not embarrassed for me. You're not like, oh my God, what have you done? These guys are just absolute legends. I love this building too because the lighting in here is phenomenal. That's honestly, if you go to a detail shop and they have garbage lighting, run.
Before we can make any real assessments about how far we're gonna go with paint correction, we need to clean up the car. And that means getting that paint nice and warm out of the frigid cold, giving it a look over to see what kind of damage I've done over the past few winters of pretty much neglecting it. They started off with the wheels. They cleaned everything up, and these wheels are actually really difficult to clean because I run track pads year round. You're gonna see the iron deposits that come off of this in a minute, but oh my goodness, I felt so bad for the kid who had to clean these wheels. And at the same time, Leah was prepping the car by just giving it a once over, and this felt like a spa day. I didn't know this could feel so good, and if anything, I know people mostly just drop their cars off when they get washed. I'd highly recommend, I'm sure they're gonna hate me for this, sticking around and watching it because this is so satisfying. I don't treat myself to manicures or massages or anything, but I would imagine this is how it feels. It's a true luxury having someone else wash your car and do it well. But back to the iron deposits. So all of the purple that you're seeing is iron coming off the wheels. This is the decontamination step. And it's pretty important because it gets a lot of stuff out of the wheels, but not only that, from the paint. They decontaminated the paint, and this car goes to quite a few track days every year. I never do this, and they were shocked at how purple my car turned out. By the time that was all sprayed on, they were looking at me like I was neglecting my child. So then they go through and they clay the whole car to get all of those little particles out of the paint while they stand in horror looking at me for all of the brake pad deposits that are in the paint. And at this point, I'm looking at my car saying, wow, it's clean. Look how clean my car is. And we haven't even gotten started. So once the car is all dried out, this is when Leah goes around with her paint meter to see if A, my car has been in any accidents and repainted, but B, just to find out if it's okay to take down a layer of that clear coat. Because what you don't want to do is you don't want to be in a position where you've removed too much. You don't want to go too far. And if you're dealing with any kind of detailers, if they're not using a paint meter to figure out how deep that paint is before it hits metal, I would be quite wary of letting them take any machines to your paint. But thankfully, I got a clean bill of health. Leah says there's no way your car's been repainted, probably not in any accident. So that's always good to know. And then they went through with the full paint correction. This was just a stage one. I told them I didn't want to go crazy because I'm going to be daily driving it and I'm still going to go to the track. But they tag teamed this with the 2 Roops polishers and even got all the little details, including a little shark fin on top and the mirrors. So I was so happy. The tricky thing is that I feel blind when I'm looking at this paint. They showed me the 50-50. They're like, hey, look, it's so much clearer over here than over here. And I'm going to be honest, I had a hard time seeing it, partially because I'm not trained to look at it. But another thing is that because my car is silver, it's gray and it's metallic, it doesn't show all of those swirls the way my carbon black M5 does. But here comes the real exciting part. This is when we put the ceramic coating on the car. And it's not the most sexy thing to look at. I think everybody wants to watch compounding and stuff, but this is the magic. Because after your car has been all done up and polished and compounded, what you want to do is you want to seal that up with a ceramic coat. And Craft Detailing uses OptiCoat Pro Plus. The first layer, that base layer, is going to be the actual ceramic coating. It's very hard. It's like putting a shell on your car. And when you apply this to paint, you'll notice this isn't my car. I messed up some of the footage. I apologize. But anyway, when you apply this to the paint, you're going to let it cure, and then you're going to go back and hit it with the second stage, the Pro Plus, which gives it this incredible glossiness, something that I've never seen on my vehicle. This may look like the easiest step in the process because you're just applying something to paint, but to be honest, I've seen bad ceramic coat jobs from people trying to do them themselves, and ceramic is so hard that if it gets globby or gloopy or anything, it hardens and it looks ridiculous. It looks really bad.
And here we are 2 weeks after the paint correction and the OptiCoat, and the car, it's incredible. Look at all the beading. So, all right, here's the rules with ceramic coating. First off, when they apply it, you're not supposed to get it wet for like 30 to 45 minutes, but then you're not supposed to wash it. No detergents, no car wash stuff for 2 weeks. So I'm coming up on that 2 weeks and we'll be able to hand wash it and get it all clean again. But the crazy thing is, even though I've still been daily driving this for the last 2 weeks through the muck and the salt and the dirt and the grime and all the junk that New England winters have thrown at the car, it almost all just comes right off because there's this slippery ceramic coat on it, which is beautiful. Which, all right, on the one hand, yes, it looks good. On the other hand, it means that I get to be lazy because now that, look at this beading. This is outrageous. Look at this carbon. Oh my God, this is so nuts. The best part is that washing the car is now going to be exponentially easier because I can almost just rinse it with water and everything falls off of it. But that means that if I'm really lazy and I want to go back through a touchless wash, even though we talked about that it's possibly just washing your car with salt water, at least just being able to rinse it down is going to do a good job. And even if it is salt water, it should be relatively protected by this ceramic coating. So, oh my God, I'm going to take you guys back to Craft Detailing when we go for the hand wash just to see what it really looks like. Then we'll go get all the sweet, sweet photos. But look, I can't recommend this enough just because, look at this, it's all just falling off the car. I don't know, man. I think I'm getting it. I used to make fun of all the obsessed garage people for being too crazy about their cars, and I'm not being crazy about this. I'm not going to tell you to obsess about your car. I'm not going to tell you to go spend thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars to go paint correct it and make it look absolutely perfect, better than it did when it was new. But I will tell you, make your life a little easier because washing this is going to be a lot easier. And the other thing is, I wish I did it sooner because although you can't see it on camera here, I'll show you someday when it's dry, but there was definitely some chemical etching that took place, probably from like bird poop and other stuff that I can't repair. There's just some marks in the clear coat, especially on the roof, that unless we go really, really crazy, aren't ever going to be repaired. But that's good enough for me, man. This is great. I'm hoping I can take this to 200,000 miles and that this paint holds up and it looks this good for every one of those miles. Thank you so much for watching, liking, commenting, and subscribing. Don't forget to respect the drive, and I'll see you in the next one.